A radio-controlled boat is a boat controlled remotely with radio control equipment. Types: fun sport. Electric sport boats are the most common type of boat amongst casual hobbyists. Hobby-quality boat speed generally start at around 20 miles per hour and go up from there, and can be just as fast or faster than their internal combustion counterparts, with the latest in lithium polymer and brushless motor technology. Ready-to-run speed boats from Aquacraft, Pro Boat and Offshore Electrics can reach speeds over 40 miles per hour out of the box, and with modifications can reach well into the 50 to 60 miles per hour range. These types of boats are referred to as hobby-grade, and can be found only at hobby shops and retailers. Toy-grade boats, which are obtained through mass consumer retailers, are generally much slower, and the maximum speeds are usually less than 15 miles per hour. Scale boats are replicas of full-size boats. They are to scale of the full-sized ones. They can be small enough to fit into your hand, or large, trailer-transported models weighing hundreds of pounds. More often than not, they are a miniaturized version of a prototype built using plans and/or photos, although there are variants that utilize freelance designs. An offshoot of this style of marine RCs is radio-controlled submarines. Sailboats use the power of the wind acting on sails to propel the boat. Model sailboats are typically controlled via a multi-channel radio transmitter in the hands of the operator, with a corresponding receiver in the boat. By changing the position of the two joysticks on the transmitter, signals are sent over two separate channels on a single radio frequency. On the boat, the radio receiver is connected to two battery-powered electric motors or servos. Signals from the radio transmitter are interpreted by the radio receiver and translated into instructions to change the position of the servos. One servo controls the position of both main and jib sails together, the other the position of the rudder. Racing sailboats. The racing of radio-controlled yacht racing is governed by the same International Sailing Federation racing rules of sailing that are used for full-sized crude sailing boats. Vane-controlled boats sail under their own rules. There are 4 international classes of radio sailing boats recognized by the International Radio Sailing Association, who are recognized by the International Sailing Federation are International 1 meter. The IOM class rules specify a monohull of maximum length 1000 mm, with maximum draft 420 mm. There is a minimum weight of 4,000 grams, which makes home building of competitive boats possible. The IOM has 3-1 design rigs. To keep costs down, hull materials are restricted to either wood or glass fiber, while masts and booms are restricted to either aluminium or wood. International Marblehead. A marblehead has a maximum length of 1,290 mm and a maximum draft of California 700 mm, but no minimum displacement. Up to 6 rigs are allowed, the tallest being about 2,200 mm. International 10-rater. International A-class, the largest of the international radio sailing classes. Other classes of international significance include the County Route 914, the RC Laser, the Micro Magic, and the RG65. The bottle boat is a low-cost alternative to these classes. Largely constructed from waste items, it represents an environmentally friendly entry to the sport. Racing power boats. There are dozens of types and classes of race boats. They are mainly organized by engine type and hull type. race, circuit and straight line is established at national and international levels. Engine, electric, glow plug, flash, steam and gas, hull, mono, hydro, cut-out rigger and eco. Classes are further divided by battery type and count. Engine CC, deep V mono, stepped mono, subsurface and surface piercing props etc. Power boats are typically fast electric or internal combustion, and some are steam-powered. The power is commonly used to rotate a submerged propeller aircraft propeller jet, which in turn provide the thrust to move the craft. Typically powerboats have two controls: rudder, outboard motor, astern drive, and throttle control. Powered scale boats will often have additional remote-controlled functions to improve realism, e.g., sounding foghorns, rotating radar antennae etc. Some of the more sophisticated powered racing boats may also have additional remote-controlled functions. These may include remote mixture control, allowing the driver to optimize the fuel-air mixture during a race. Another function occasionally implemented for racing boats using a surface-piercing propeller is remote control of depth or angle of thrust. There are three main types of powerboat: RTR, ARTR, and kit versions are available. All thoroughbred racing boats are made from kits, and the builders add their own gear and radio. Radio-controlled racing boats are designed for maximum speed and maneuverability. Various styles of racing include circuits of different shapes laid out on the water with buoys. The most common courses are the 1/6 mile oval that consists of 330-foot straight sections followed by 70-foot diameter turns. The International Model Power Boat Association as well as the North American Model Boat Association have specific rules and regulations to address the course, race rules, and formats. In addition to oval racing, there are straightaway racing. This is a contest to see how fast you can make the boat go in a straight line. Timed events are held where the boats need to go through a starting light and an ending light. The speed is calculated by the time difference from start to stop versus the length between the lights. Again, IMPBA and NAMBA rules apply. Some enthusiasts race in the sea, controlling the craft from a pursuing boat known as a chase boat. These courses will usually be a few miles long, and the competition is judged against the clock to find the fastest in class. Within the various styles of racing, there will be a number of classes depending upon engine size and type. Ocean and river-going boats tend to be powered by internal combustion engines. Sprint-type races and electric races are usually held on calmer lake waters. Electric boats for racing are capable of reaching speeds of more than 50 miles per hour and run times of around 10 minutes. Electric boats also hold the 100-yard sprint record against rival internal combustion power plants since 2000. Tethered racing and free-running craft were popular prior to the advent of cheap radio control. The speeds of tethered racing vehicles are higher than 160 miles per hour for boats and 230 miles per hour for cars. But these craft bear little resemblance to real-world vehicles, and could not obtain anywhere near those speeds if converted to radio control. Combat, a competitive offshoot of the radio control model warships hobby that involves the firing of projectiles, usually propelled by gas, at opposing ships to sink or damage them. Models are usually simplified to facilitate repair. Ships are fitted with bilge pumps, BB 3/16, 7/32, or 1/4 weapons that fire ball bearings. The ship's hull plating is balsa to keep the force required to penetrate down to safe levels. By rules, they are designed to be sinkable, and in fact they do on a regular basis. Tugboats. Scale model tugboats are often built to include scale drive systems. They use standard propellers and rudder, Becker rudders, quart nozzles, steerable quart nozzles, Z drives, a voice Schneider cycloidal drives. Clubs will often host maneuvering competitions where participants are tasked to run the boats in the most realistic manner possible. This can be judged with or without a tow or barge attached. Model tugboats were often used for filming on 3 shows: Tugs, Thomas and Amp, Friends and Theodore Tugboat, in which they had moving eyes, and as for Tugs, moving heads.